Okay, once again, magandang umaga and Assalamualaikum to everyone. Happy New Year's Day to all. And the back-home wins for the 3-week conference of 12 civil work projects. And the members of the back were represented. Two members attending through online, Engineer Olakaya and Engineer Orugin Sudan. In my left hand is in my left side is the Vice Chairperson, Tony Ja, and to her left side is Tony Sarkan Masuhayan, and one of the members of the bank also, Chief of the Administrative Division, and on his left side is the Diamond Star of ISO. This Hanabi Liang, TWG, and the head TWG on the right side, on the left side is Atty. Melon. So, Bank Secretariat, were you able to inform our stakeholders? That includes the barangay chairman where the project is located, the municipal mayor, city mayors, the CIDG, PRT, NGI. So we also will ask the representatives of the various prospective leaders. So welcome. And since we are in quorum, before anything else, before any great undertaking, this is the first of the lesson of that. May I ask Tony Angelo for the invocation? Let us pray for those non-Muslim. We will pray the way we do. Allow me to pray in our Muslim prayer. And Father, Lord, come and minister to the Lord. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. Rahman. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. So we also acknowledge the presence of Commissioner Audit represented by Ma'am Daisel de la Cruz. And since we are in forum, I call this conference to order. And let's start with a brief explanation by the back of the following civil works projects to be presented by Engineer Gabriel Conrado Paturo.
This contract description approved by the contract operation. For contract ID 25M00008, we have litigation with construction upgrading of damaged field roads, Maharlika Highway, Gosnaka Road, from K1592 plus 174, K1592 plus 389, Malungan Sarangani. The scope of work is reconstruction for concrete pavement with a physical target of 0.33 million kilometers. Approved by the contract is 2,670,430 pesos, and the contract duration is 37 calendar days. For contract ID 5M00025, installation application of road safety facilities, road signs, pavement markings, along Maharlika Highway, Maharlika Road, from K1665 plus 500 to K1665 plus 604, K1665 plus 939 to K1670 plus 000, Colonel South of the Battle. The scope of work is road safety, road signs, with a physical target of 49 signs. Approved budget for the contract is 1,371,265 pesos, and contract duration is 25 calendar days. For contract ID 25M0057, construction, upgrading, and rehabilitation of drainage along national roads, Maharlika Highway to the Batang Road, K1713 plus 500 to K1713 plus 722 for Andal City. The scope of work is construction of a new structure along road with a physical target of 222 millimeters. Approved budget for the contract is 3,491,370 pesos. Allocation for and contract duration is 84 calendar days. The contract ID 25M00060, road widening, Maharlika Highway to the Batang Road, from K1722 plus 774 to K1722 plus 322, Baha South of the Battle. The scope of work is road widening to the total physical target of 0.2169 kilometers. Approved budget for the contract is 5,718,590 pesos, with a contract duration of 42 calendar days. Contract ID 25M00068, improvement of intersection of Maharlika Highway, Magdala Alabang Cotabato Road, from K1767 plus 020, Isulan Sultan Kudarat. The scope of work is off carriageway improvement, clearing of intersections, improvement of intersections, physical target of 1 intersection. Approved budget for the contract is 4,825 pesos, with a contract duration of 45 calendar days. The contract ID 25M00069, improvement of intersections along Maharlika Highway, Barbel Alabang Cotabato Road, from K1766 plus 367 to K1766 plus 525, and K1767 plus 258, Isulan Sultan Kudarat. The scope of work is off carriageway improvement, clearing of intersections, improvement of intersections. It is a target of 1 intersection. Approved budget for the contract is 14,475,000 pesos, with a contract duration of 90 calendar days. Contract ID 25M00141, construction of multi-purpose building in DC Hall, Barangay Nabundas, Sharif, Saidon, Mustafa, and Mindanao Sur. The scope of work is construction of multi-purpose building. Approved budget for the contract is 4,950,000 pesos, with a contract duration of 145 calendar days. Contract ID 25M00146, construction of multi-purpose building in DC Hall, Barangay Poblacion, Paglan, and Mindanao Sur. The scope of work is construction of multi-purpose building. Approved budget for the contract is 4,950,000 pesos, with a contract duration of 145 calendar days. Contract ID 25M00147, construction of multi-purpose building, ABC Hall, Barangay Poblacion, Sharif Agua, Mindanao del Sur. Scope of work is construction of multi-purpose building. Approved budget for the contract is 4,950,000 pesos, and contract duration is 145 calendar days. For contract ID 25M00159, construction of multi-purpose building, Barangay Poblacion, Sharif Agua, Mindanao del Sur. The scope of work is construction of multi-purpose building. Approved budget for the contract is 4,900,000 pesos. And the contract duration is 120 calendar days. For contract ID 25M00269, rainwater collector system, Matalan 4 units, Farmland 3 units, President Rojas 2 units, Antipas 2 units, Tulunan 2 units, Blanc 2 units, Blanc 5 units, Kiamba 2 units, Maritong 2 units, Maasin 2 units, Malapatan 2 units, and Alabel 2 units. The scope of work is construction of rainwater collector system, with a total fiscal target of 30 units. Approved budget for the contract is 8,150,691 pesos and 98 centavos. With contract duration is 92 calendar years. Contract ID 25M00270, repair maintenance of DPWH building, regional office building, multi-purpose covered court, ORD staff house, parking area, guardhouse and record section building, network building, zone 3, Colonial City. Brief scope of work is repair and maintenance of building. Approved budget for the contract is 6 million pesos. And contract duration is 120 calendar days. For basic requirements of bidding,
Yes, before proceeding, why ABC contract ID 27025 and 270. Why ABC is equal to the allocation?
check with, pitch and other reading sections are important.
Okay, so, okay, take note of that. Okay, proceed. Maybe before we can start, we can have the clarification, okay?
For requirements of bidding, documents including construction studios, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bills and quantities, forms. For contract ID 35M 00008, rehabilitation and reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved roads, Maharlika Highway, Vigos Mapa Road, from K1592 plus 174 to K1592 plus 339. The scope of work is as follows. Part A, facilities for the engineer is the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on rental basis, and provision for performing of tax service vehicle for the engineer on their rental basis. Part 3, other general requirements includes the following. Project billboard signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and demobilization. Part C, earthworks includes the following. Removal of asphalt structures and obstruction, PCCP 200 unreinforced 180 millimeter stick, structure excavation from soil and subgrade preparation of material. Part B, subbase and base course includes the following. Aggregate subbase course. Part B, surface courses includes the following. Portland cement concrete pavement on reinforced 180 millimeter stick at Portland base. Part F, bridge construction includes the following. Reinforcing steel grade 40 and structural concrete class B at 20.68 MPa. Part H, miscellaneous structures includes the following. Reflector external plastic pavement markings, yellow and single arm solar LED roadway lighting 80 to 125 watts, 12 meter volts. For contract item 25M 00025, installation application of road safety facilities, road signs, pavement markings along Maharlika Highway, Michael Macau Road, from K1665 plus 500 to K1665 plus 604, and from K1665 plus 939 to K1670 plus 000. The scope of work is as follows. Part A, facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on rental basis, and provision of 4x4 pickup type service people for the engineer on their rental basis. Part B, other general requirements includes the following. Project vehicle signboard, occupational safety program, traffic management, and mobilization and mobilization. Part H, miscellaneous structures includes the following. Warning sign 600 by 600 millimeters, W6-1B, pedestrian signs, pedestrian school signs, pedestrian crossing ahead. Warning sign 600 millimeters, W2-1B, intersection junction signs, cross road. Warning sign 600 millimeters, W2-6B, intersection and junction signs. Side road junction left or right. Warning sign 750 millimeters, W3-1B, advanced warning of traffic control device signs, signals ahead. Warning sign 600 millimeters, W4-3B, road use sign, divided road. Warning sign, 600 millimeters, W4-4B, road width sign, and divided road. Regulatory sign, 600 millimeters, R6-8B, miscellaneous signs, pedestrian crossing. Regulatory signs, disc size, 400 millimeters, R2-3PA, direction signs, keep right, label 450 by 750 millimeters. Reflector thermoplastic pavement markings white, reflector thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, and removal of existing reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. For contract ID 25M00057, construction, upgrading, rehabilitation, and drainage along national roads, Maharlika Highway to Cotabato Road, from K1713 plus 500 to K1713 plus 752 for Manila City. The scope of work is as follows. Under CW1, road widening component, Part A facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on a rental basis, and provision 4x4 pickup type service people for the engineer on a rental basis. Part B, other general requirements include the following. Project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, immobilization and demobilization, and removal and relocation of utilities. Part C, earthworks includes the following. Individual removal of trees, small, 300 to 500 millimeters in diameter. Removal of existing road signs, removal of actual structures and construction, 230 millimeters thick and CCP under reinforced. Surface common excavation, such as excavation common soil, foundation fill, embankment of road excavation common soil, and subject preparation common material. Part B, sub-base and base course includes the following. Aggregate sub-base course. Part B, surface courses includes the following. Portland concrete pavement unreinforced, 150 millimeters thick at the base. Part F, bridge construction includes the following. Reinforcing steel grade 40, structural concrete class A, 20.68 MPa at 28 base, structural concrete class B, 20.68 MPa. Mean concrete class B at 16.5 MPa. Part G, drainage and soil protection structures includes the following. Stone masonry. Part H, miscellaneous structures includes the following. Ceilings and flat roofs or other programs and initiatives. Contract ID 25M00060, road widening, Maharlika Highway to Cotabato Road, from K1722 plus 774 to K1722 plus 822. The scope of work is as follows. Part A facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on a rental basis, and provision of 4x4 pickup type service for the engineer on a rental basis. Part A, other general requirements include the following. Project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, immobilization and demobilization. Part C, earthworks includes the following. Clearing and grubbing, removal of actual structures and construction, 150 millimeters thick CCP unreinforced, removal of existing guardrails, removal of existing guardrail posts, foundation fill, pipe culverts and drain excavation common soil, embankment from road excavation common soil, embankment from borrow common soil, and subgrade preparation common material. Part B, sub-base and base course includes the following. Aggregate sub-base course. Part E, surface course includes the following. Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced, 150 millimeters thick at Portland base. And Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced, 150 millimeters thick at Portland base. Part F, bridge construction includes the following. Reinforcement steel deformed on 4 feet, and structural concrete class A, 1.7 MPa at the base. Part G, drainage and soil protection structures includes the following. Grout and dirt trap class A. Part H, miscellaneous structures includes the following. Installation of metal guardrail, metal beam, including post, single W beam. The metal restaurant plastic pavement marking is white, in a single arm solar LED rotary lighting, 120 watts on a 12-meter pole. For contract ID 25M006A, improvement of intersection of Maharlika Highway, Alabali to Cotabato Road, at K1767 plus 020, the scope of work is as follows. Part A, facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on a rental basis, and provision of further project of that service given to the engineer on a rental basis. Part B, other general requirements includes the following. Project local signboard, additional safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and demonstration. Part C, earthworks includes the following. Removal of structures and structural concrete, such as foundation, structural excavation from soil, foundation fill, pipe culverts and drain excavation from soil, embankment of water with common soil, and subway preparation common material. Part E, subways and base course includes the following. Aggregate subways course. Part B, surface course includes the following. Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 200 millimeter stick at Portland base. Part F, bridge construction includes the following. Reinforced steel deformed with 4 feet, structural concrete class C at 168, and lean concrete class E. Part G, drainage and slope connecting structures includes the following. Stone masonry. Part H, miscellaneous structures includes the following. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement marked with white, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement marked with yellow. Removal of existing reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings and single arm solar LED road with lighting, 120 watts and 12 meter pole. For contract ID 25M0069. Improvement of intersections along Harding Highway, Marble Valley Cavalo Road from K1766 plus 367, K1766 plus 555, and K1767 plus 258. The scope of work is as follows. Part 8, facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on a rental basis, provision of field of pickup access vehicles for the engineer on their rental basis. Part B, other general requirements includes the following. Project local signboard, additional safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and utilization. Part C, earthworks includes the following. Removal of structures and structural concrete, surface common excavation, structure excavation from soil, foundation fill, pipe culverts and drain excavation from soil, embankment from borrowed common soil, and subway preparation from material. Part B, subways and base course includes the following. Aggregate subways course. Part B, surface course includes the following. Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 180 millimeter stick and Portland base. Part F, bridge construction includes the following. Reinforced steel grade 40, structural concrete class B at 20.68 MPa, and beam concrete class B. Part G, drainage and slope protecting structures includes the following. Stone masonry. Part H, resilient structures includes the following. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement marked with white, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement marked with yellow. Removal of existing reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings and single arm solar LED with lighting 120 watts have been plugged in their forward. For contract ID 20, for contract ID M00141, construction of multi-purpose building to BC Hall, Barangay Nagutas, Saigona, Mustafa, Mandela del Sur. Contract ID 25M00146, construction of multi-purpose building to BC Hall, Barangay Poblacion, Paglan, Mandela del Sur. Contract ID 25M00147, construction of multi-purpose building to BC Hall, Barangay Poblacion, Saigona, Mandela del Sur. And contract ID 25M00159, construction of multi-purpose building, Barangay Poblacion, Mandela del Sur. The scope of work is as follows. Part A, facilities for the engineer includes the following. Provision of field office for the engineer on a rental basis, and provision of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer on their rental basis. Part B, other general requirements include the following. Permits and clearances, project billboard and signboard, occupational safety and health program, and mobilization and demobilization. Under Part 3, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. Part A, earthworks includes the following. Structure excavation on common soil, embankment from structure excavation on common soil, and gravel fill. Part B, plain and reinforced concrete works includes the following. Structural concrete class A at 20 base, structural concrete class B at 20 base, reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, reinforcing steel deformed grade 60, and formworks and falsehoods. Part C, finishing and other civil works includes the following. Soil poisoning, sewer lines work, storm drainage and downspout, plumbing fixtures, cold water lines, sealing, 4.5 millimeter thick fiber cement board on metal frame, ceiling, pre-painted metal panel on metal frame, aluminum frame glass doors, wing height, aluminum glass windows, sliding height, aluminum glass windows, awning height, aluminum glass windows, fixed height, doors, wood panel, fabricated metal retaining accessory, flashings, age 26, fabricated metal retaining accessory, buffers, age 24, pre-painted metal sheets with pipe long span about 0.427 millimeters thick, glazed tiles and finished unglazed tiles, cement plaster finish, painting works on masonry and concrete, painting works on wood, painting works on steel, aluminum cladding, CHB non-load bearing including reinforcing steel 100 millimeters thick, CHB non-load bearing including reinforcing steel 150 millimeters thick, metal structural accessories, structural steel trusses, structural steel forements, and railing. Part B electrical works includes the following: conduits, boxes, and fittings, wires and wiring devices, final board with lead and transmitters, and lighting fixtures and lamps. For contract IG 25M 00269, rainwater collector system, Matalan 4 units, Farming 3 units, President Rojas 2 units, Antipas 2 units, Puluman 2 units, Blanc 2 units, Land 5 units, Campa 2 units, Naikon 2 units, Maasig 2 units, Parapata 2 units, and Arabel 2 units. Scope of work is the following. Part A must be considered engineer, Part B other than requirements, Part A earthworks, Part B training for concrete works, Part C finishing and other civil works. And last, 45M, product ID 45M 00270, repair and maintenance of PWH Regional Office 12 building, multi-purpose covered court, ORD staff house, including parking area, guard house, and record section building network building zone 3 code city. The scope of work is as follows. Remember? Part B other general requirements is the following. Project report, send forth operational safety control program, and mobilization and demobilization. Under part 3, civil mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. Part A earthworks is the following. Structural excavation of public soil, and backfill of structural excavation of public soil, and gravel fill. Part B, when reinforced concrete works include the following. Structural concrete class A of 28 days, reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, reinforcing steel deformed grade 60, and formula composites. Part C, finishing and other civil works includes the following. Soil poisoning, sewer lines work, soil drainage and downspout, plumbing fixtures, cold water lines. Ceiling, 4.5 millimeters thick fiber cement board and metal frame. Wall, 4.5 millimeters thick fiber cement board and metal frame. Aluminum glass windows, awning height, aluminum glass windows, fixed height. Frames, doors, wood panel, fabricated metal roofing accessory, flashing stage 26. Fabricated metal roofing accessory, gutters stage 24. Pre-painted metal sheets with type long span, glazed tiles and rims, and glazed tiles. Cement plaster finish, painting works on masonry and concrete, painting works on wood, painting works on steel, metal panel, aluminum cladding, PVC doors and frames. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel 100 millimeters thick. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel 150 millimeters thick. Metal structure accessories, bolts and rods. Metal structure accessories, and bottle. Metal structure accessories, steel plates. Structural steel and rigging. Part B electrical works include the following. Conduits, boxes, and fittings, wires and wiring devices, final board with main and branch breakers, and lighting fixtures and lamps. 14, mechanical works includes the following: air conditioning system, package, or stick type. That will be all.
Okay, before we proceed, we recognize the presence of Engineer Marajo, one of the members of the staff. Kanina nandito siya, unang una siya. So before proceeding, for the presentation of the documents to be submitted, my request, may I ask the secretariat, next time we have the, pakipost na lang yung requirements of the documents while engineer, Apollo, engineer, nakapost doon for the benefit of the one attending online. Okay, so we proceed with the document to be submitted by the bidder. The presenter is Engineer Janela Maria C. Romano and Engineer Orfa Marasate. So please.
Good morning, everyone. I will be discussing the technical requirements. First, the field job certificate of registration and membership in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the Act. Second, A is the bidder is not previously enrolled in the CWB. The bidder's Class A and Class B documents not covered with the field job certificate in accordance with section 4.8.2 of the CPM volume 9. This document should include, among others, the following information report in IRR section 25.2. The valid pickup license or special pickup license in case of infringement, statement of all enrolling government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not extended, statement identifying the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, the NFPC computation and the statement of total assets and total liability, and the joint venture agreement with applicable. B, the bidder is previously enrolled in the CWB but would like to update any of its Class A and Class B documents or agreement documents should be updated. Third is the bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and the revision period, and lastly, the eligibility requirements under section 3.1 of the Act. Good morning, Mr. Chair, and everyone. For the project technical requirements to be submitted by our respective bidder. First is the organizational chart for the contractor bid signed by the authorized managing officer. Second is the contractor's list of key personnel. So the contractor shall employ the following key personnel. So these are the project manager, DPWH accredited materials contractors, project engineer for buildings and bridges, DPWH accredited contractors, materials engineer, construction safety officer 3, and construction foreman. For project manager, we include a copy of the PIN ID card. For project engineer, accredited project engineers shall be assigned by contractors for the implementation and construction of buildings and bridges, as stipulated in Department Order Number 227, Series 2024, and attached certificate of accreditation for report of duty. For materials engineer must be DPWH accredited materials engineer. Attach also the certificate of accreditation. For safety officer 3 with mandatory 40-hour basic training course applicable to the industry and additional 48 hours of advanced occupational safety training relevant to the industry as required by the law. And attach also the certificate of training for safety officer 3. For additional information and requirements, alleged personnel should not hold more than one position or designation per project, and attach or submit a copy of professional tax receipt for the current year for the assigned personnel. Third requirement is the list of contractors' major equipment and pledged to be used for the project must be supported by proof of ownership, if it is owned or for lease agreement. For lease equipment, a lease contract and certification or statement of availability of equipment should be submitted with the lesser of owner as the pledger of the equipment, stating that the equipment will be available for the whole duration of the project, duly signed and authorized.
For owned equipment, certification or statement of availability of equipment should be submitted as the owner of the equipment, stating therein that the equipment will be available for the whole duration of the project, the design and operation. For purchase agreement, the description of the equipment to be purchased must be indicated in the document. Please take note also for our prospective bidders, additional information requirements in pledge vehicle as stipulated in bid bulletin number 4, dated August 12, 2024. Pledged vehicles purchased by the bidder, contractor, or covered by purchase agreement must be registered under the name of the proprietor or the company within 1 year from the execution of the agreement. Vehicle that remains unregistered under the specified name within 1 year of the execution of the deed of sale will be deemed non-responsive. Pledged vehicles should be validly insured under a policy other than compulsory third-party liability and should have a valid registration with the Land Transportation Office on the day of opening of bids. Bidders must attach in their submitted bids a copy of LTO official receipt or certificate of registration of their pledged vehicle registered under the name of proprietor and a copy of proof of insurance of the pledged vehicle other than the compulsory third-party liability. So in all cases, the bidder should present the original of the documents during post-qualification. So all documents in support of the ownership of equipment pledge and other documents photocopied from the original shall be clear, readable, and certified. So all bidders are required to fully comply with the contract minimum equipment requirements as prescribed in the bid documents, with a complete technical description of the pledged vehicle, whether owned, leased, or purchased, such as, but not limited to, the engine number, year, model, chassis number, plate number, load capacity, availability, and operating condition. Additionally, they must specify the exact location of the equipment in their bid proposal. So if the bidder does not meet the requirements in the bid data sheet, they will be automatically disqualified. Fourth requirement is the omnibus sworn statement by the prospective bidder in the form prescribed by the CPTB, duly signed and notarized. Fifth requirement is the inclusion of the minimum testing materials equipment. Contractors are likewise required for the inclusion of the minimum materials testing equipment and the technical components of the bid in compliance with Department Order Number 11, Series 2017. For additional pertinent documents, first is the sworn statement, conflict of interest by the prospective bidder or its authorized representative, duly signed and authorized. And lastly is the contractor's certification or affidavit on key personnel as to Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, duly signed and authorized. That will be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay. For the financial proposal, it will be presented by Engineer Vanessa Salazar.
Good morning, everyone. For the financial requirements for state funds must be in accordance with the form described in section 19. Contractors must write the original total price of bid written in figures and envelopes. If the contractor has a discount offered, please write on the cover receipt of your application and indicate the new bid amount written in figures and envelopes. For the discounts offered, it will be deducted on the original bid and not on the EPC. And the amount written in words will prevail. Second, the bid prices and the bid quantities. It consists of bid prices written in figures and envelopes. Third is the detailed estimates. It includes summary sheets indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment recoveries, and repeating also the direct and indirect costs of having capital. Fourth is the quarterly or monthly cash flow and payment schedule. There is also a prescribed form in section 9 of the green form. And please take note that for the facilities, for the engineer, the provision of 4x4 pick-up time service for the engineer on a rental basis will be the same as for the bid documents. Otherwise, it will be declared as non-compliant. and the financial proposal that the ABC indicated shall be rejected as any missing documents of the mentioned checklist is filed for outside rejection. For the other pertinent issues, first, contractors' leave must be submitted in one original copy and two photocopies. Likewise, the same must be book bounded and properly labeled, tagged, and paginated as per the number 90 series of 2002. And for those contractors who will use the SPA and submission of leave, please be informed that we will only acknowledge leave if there is a corresponding email of the said SPA and from the official email address of the contractors. For the requirement of the notice of award, first is the notice with the signed requirement thereon, the required performance security, the required credit line and cash deposit certificate if applicable, the required contractors all risk insurance, the precedent diagram method, manpower schedule, equipment utilization schedule, project organization chart, construction method, and construction safety and health program of the study. Next is the three-strike policy of the department. The provision governing the imposition of administrative sanctions for contractors who commits acts of which tends to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, such as habitually withdrawing from bidding, submitting late bids, or patently insufficient bids for at least 3 times within a year except for valid. We'll also discuss the electronic submission and receipt of bids for procurement of civil works. For the preparation and submission of bids, prior to the deadline of submission of bids, the bidder shall send a copy of the official receipt of purchase of bidding documents in PDF format. An authorized email should be sent to the bidder after successfully sending the official receipt to the proper email address. Bidders must prepare the electronic bid in a password protective archive format and submit it to the email address identified in the bid. The certificate electronic bid shall contain two files, the certificate financial proposal, both in a password protective archive format. Bidders must submit their electronic bid using the registered email address and suitable details. The password protective archive file submitted must be opened using the password provided by the bidder and must be successfully opened or accessed by the box. Bidders will be given a maximum of 3 attempts or a period of 15 minutes, whichever comes first, to provide the correct password, except in unforeseen justifiable circumstances. Otherwise, the bidder shall be disqualified. The bidder may also be subjected to the sanctions under Rule number 17, 2015. The three-strike policy as may be warranted under the circumstances. The official email address of our office is electronic_bids_r12@pwh.gov. I will also discuss the Department Order 1100/2024, the implementation of ISO 9001/2015, certification requirements for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects for the department. Recognizing the critical role of ISO 9001/2015 certification in achieving these objectives, the department shall now mandate this certification as part of the project requirements for contractors involved in procurement of infrastructure projects. Accordingly, all procuring entities within the department are required to include ISO 9001/2015 certification or its latest version as applicable as part of the project requirements and bidding documents for infrastructure projects. This requirement applies to bidders classified under the following pickup size range and are participating in department's procurement of infrastructure projects with the ABC range, to wit, large A more than 300 million but less than 400 million, effective January 1, 2025, for medium B more than 150 million but less than 300 million effective July 1, 2025, and medium A more than 30 million but less than 150 million effective January 1, 2020. That's all.
Okay, any clarification from the respective leaders? So, and we proceed to the summary of proceedings, including the bulletins to be issued by, to be presented by Engineer Janela.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The summary of proceedings to today's conference, the basic contract data, the requirement of giving documents was discussed by Engineer Roberto Gabriel Contrato Coculo. The documents to be submitted by the bidders, the technical proposal is discussed by Engineer Denaro Medalla Magno, Engineer Orfo Veladarte. The documents to be submitted in the financial proposal and the guidelines for the electronic solution and receipt of dates was discussed by Engineer Veladarte Jr. The 12 civil work contracts or projects, the deadline of the bid submission is on January 20, 2026 at 10 a.m. Late bids shall not be accepted, and the recovery shall be on the same day, January 20, 2026 at 10:30 in the morning here at the TPWH Regional Office Hall Conference Room, Colonel Dulce in Tamaulipas. Any changes or revisions in the discussed contract will be reflected in the issue to the release in there. That will be all.
Okay, so any other issues? I think you very telling us about contract ID 2510 00270. So the allocation is 6 million and the ABC is 6 million also. So why the same?
The, the project is funding from the MOO, certain tenants and other expenses, and no allocation for the or engineering of and institute. So the entire budget is allocated.
Okay. So any other issues, clarification? Especially sa ating representative, respective leaders. Wala. Okay, well, anyway, if you have some areas na observe, we still have time to, kasi January 20 pa naman na open. So, the basic Italia is still open. So, there be no other issues?
If there is no other,
Any objection? Hearing none. So, the briefing conference is by everyone. Good morning and assalamualaikum. God bless you.